Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Tiz. Huge thanks to Tiz and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Tiz reached out asking for help branching out. She asked for a Spellslinger deck led by Lilah, Undefeated Slickshot, and that the deck be in bracket 3. Since Spellslinger is my favorite archetype, I was more than happy to help her. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Lilah Undefeated Slickshot is a 3-mana 3/3 legendary human rogue with prowess. Whenever we cast a multicolored instant or sorcery spell from our hand, we exile that spell instead of putting it into our graveyard as it resolves. If we do, it becomes plotted. Plotted means we can cast the spell on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Okay, so we want to include multicolored instant and sorceries in our deck because our commander brings extra value to those spells. We also want ways to close out the game. This is a Spellslinger deck after all. We want lots of synergistic combos as well as ways to end the game suddenly. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is now the official partner of Wizards of the Coast, and as such, they're able to print official art on their deck boxes, like this Return to Earth Boulder featuring art from Bloomborough. Rather than featuring a specific card, this deck box is designed to look like Maha's Egg, as seen in Krollclaw's Heist and Dawn's Truce. I love the deep-cut references from this piece. Pick yours up today at your local game store, or order it on Amazon. Link down below. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming with my son over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Our land base consists of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Scalding Tarn, Polluted Delta, Wooded Foothills, Flooded Strand, Bloodstained Mire, Steam Vents, Training Center, Stormcarved Coast, Sulphur Falls, Thundering Falls, Volatile Fjord, Molten Tributary, Riverpire Verge, Ferris Lake, Cascade Bluffs, Shivan Reef, Riverglide Pathway, Frostboil Snarl, Is It Boilerworks, Reliquary Tower, Scavenger Grounds, 6 islands, and 6 mountains. I know this is a bit expensive for some of you, but you can swap out the fetches and the shocks for basics and cheaper fetch lands, like Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse if cost is an issue. For mana ramp, we've got Stormkiln Artist, Goblin Electromancer, Stormcatch Mentor, Mana Geyser, Seething Song, Primal Amulet, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Creativity, Izzet Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Chromatic Lantern, Thought Vessel, and Decanter of Endless Water. Mostly mana rocks, but also some rituals and cost reducers. Our card advantage package consists of Archmage Emeritus, Arcane Infusion, Practical Research, Expressive Iteration, Rhystic Study, Jeska's Will, Archmage of Runes, Ral's Outburst, Steam Augury, Invert Invent, Thought Flare, and Windfall. Gotta love spells that our commander allows us to cast again later. For interaction and spot removal, we've got Broadside Barrage, Slick Sequence, Electrolyze, Prismari Command, Beacon Bolt, Is It Charm, Flame of Honor, Gandalf's Sanction, Prophetic Bolt, Narset's Reversal, Negate, Counterspell, Arcane Denial, Abrade, Chaos Warp, Invert Polarity, Counterflux, Ionize, Reinterpret, Swerve, Magma Opus, and Commit Memory. Yes, I know that's a lot, but a good portion of our interaction is not only flexible, it's also recastable thanks to our commander. Our board wipes consist of Ill-Timed Explosion, Cyclonic Rift, and Blasphemous Act. Simple and powerful. The core of our deck consists of Teach by Example, Galvanic Iteration, Increasing Vengeance, Reiterate, Expansion Explosion, Fury Storm, Return the Favor, Dualcaster Mage, and Reverberate. Why yes, dear viewer, that is a lot of copy effects. Why do you ask? Finally, we're also running Thousand Year Storm, Haze of Rage, and Ral's Storm Conduit. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 35 lands and 13 pieces of ramp. Right on target. 11 pieces of card advantage. 21 pieces of interaction. 3 board wipes. 1 piece of graveyard hate in Scavenger Grounds. 1 sudden I win card in Ral Storm Conduit.
Okay, so since we're a Spellslinger deck, I figured we should go over this combo again. Ral Storm Conduit has a static ability that says whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, he deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. We also have a lot of copy effects in the deck. So all we need is 1 instant or sorcery on the stack, then we cast the first copy spell. For example, Reverberate. We then cast another copy spell, say Expansion Explosion, targeting the Reverberate. The new copy of Reverberate targets Expansion, creating a copy of Expansion. The new copy of Expansion targets Reverberate. This creates an infinite, deterministic loop of copy effects.
Now, don't get too excited, dear viewer. When the copies all resolve, you wind up with 3 copies of whatever instant or sorcery was cast to begin with. So you can't just cast Lightning Bolt and then create an infinite number of Lightning Bolts. All you're doing is creating infinite copy triggers. When the stack resolves, you will just have 3 Lightning Bolts. But if Ral Storm Conduit is on board, you kill the table. If Archmage Emeritus is on board, you draw your entire deck. And if Stormkiln Artist is on board, you create infinite treasures. Speaking of Stormkiln Artist, he's the reason Haze of Rage is in the deck. Once we get to a storm count of at least 3, we cast Haze of Rage with Buyback. This generates us 4 treasures. We use those 4 treasures to cast Haze of Rage with Buyback again, generating us 5 treasures. The next time we cast it, we generate 6 treasures. We're spending 4 treasures every time, but gaining more and more each time we cast Haze of Rage. And I would be remiss if I failed to mention my favorite card in Magic, Thousand Year Storm. Even if this card doesn't win the game by itself, it can generate insane amounts of value. What's better than casting a Mana Geyser and gaining a ton of mana? How about casting a Mana Geyser when it's the 3rd spell you've cast in a turn, then casting a copy of Reiterate with Buyback? What will we do with all that mana? Whatever we want, dear viewer. Do you have a Spellslinger deck? Who's your commander? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Borgi, Nazwin Konga, Chris, Robert, William Pye, Kazaris, Booksuit, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard, Sint, Boomy, Jackie, Finn, Zen, Osra, Justin, and Christian. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.